The giant screen showed the alien ship for the first time. It looked like a huge dark beetle with glowing blue lights. Everyone in Earth's United Space Command Center held their breath. Dr. Jae-ho Kim stood tall despite being nervous. At 45, his black hair had touches of gray, and his hands, famous for creating the healing nanites that saved millions, were steady as always. "Are you ready, Doctor?" asked Captain Ta Won-lee. The captain was younger than Jae-ho, with broad shoulders and alert eyes that missed nothing. "As ready as I'll ever be," Jae-ho said with a small smile. "I've practiced my greeting 100 times." The first meeting with aliens was about to happen. After years of sending signals into space, humanity finally got an answer 3 months ago. The Vrek, as they called themselves, agreed to meet at this neutral spot near Jupiter. Captain Lee nodded to the communications officer. "Open the channel." The screen flickered, and then they saw them, the Vrek. They looked like tall, thin insects walking on 2 legs. Their bodies were covered in a blue-green shell, and their 4 arms ended in delicate fingers. Their heads had large compound eyes that shimmered with intelligence. "Greetings from Earth," Jae-ho said clearly. "We welcome you in peace and friendship." The lead Vrek tilted its head. When it spoke, its voice came through the translator as clicking and soft. "We receive your welcome, humans of Earth. We are the Vrek, travelers and traders from the stars." The meeting went well. Both sides shared basic information about their worlds. When Jae-ho explained his work, the nanites that could fix broken bodies and cure diseases, the Vrek grew very still. "You can heal any illness?" asked the Vrek leader. "Many, but not all," Jae-ho answered honestly. "We're still learning, but our nanites have saved countless lives. We would be happy to share this technology as a gift of friendship." The Vrek looked at each other. Something passed between them, a quick movement of their antennae. "Most generous," said the Vrek leader. "We would be interested in such an exchange." Later, after the meeting, Captain Lee pulled Jae-ho aside. "Did you notice anything strange when you mentioned the medical technology?" he asked. Jae-ho shook his head. They seemed impressed. "Why?" "Just a feeling," said Lee, frowning. "Something in the way they looked at each other. I've been a diplomat for 15 years, and I know when someone's hiding something." "You're too suspicious, Taiwan," Jae-ho laughed. "They're aliens. Of course they'll act differently than humans." Captain Lee nodded, but the uneasy feeling stayed with him. 6 weeks later, Earth and the Vrek signed their first agreement. The Vrek shared star maps and information about other alien species. Earth offered medical knowledge and the healing nanites. What Earth didn't know was what happened on the Vrek ship after that first meeting. "These humans are dangerous," the Vrek military advisor told their leader. "Their healing technology is far beyond ours. If they can program tiny machines to repair bodies, they can program them to destroy bodies too. But they offer it freely, as a gift," said another Vrek. "That makes them more dangerous, not less," hissed the military advisor. "Our strength has always been our biological superiority. These humans have found a way to cheat nature itself. The High Command must be informed." The Vrek leader's antennae twitched in thought. "For now, we accept their gift. We learn from it. We gain their trust. Then we will decide what kind of neighbors the humans will be." As the Vrek ship left Jupiter's orbit, heading home with samples of the healing nanites, Earth celebrated a new era of friendship among the stars. They had no idea what was coming. 6 months after first contact, the hospital ship Mercy floated in space near the Vrek homeworld. The ship was huge and white, with a bright red cross painted on both sides. It was built only to heal, not to fight. Dr. Jae-ho Kim stood by the large window, watching the blue-green planet below. He felt proud. This was his dream, to share human medicine with other worlds. "Doctor, the Vrek patients are ready for today's treatments," said Dr. Soo-min Park as she entered the room. Soo-min was 30, with short black hair and quick, gentle hands. She could understand alien bodies better than anyone else on the team. How many today? Jai-ho asked. 50 more, Su-min said. They all have the bone disease. The nanites are working well, but the Vrek keeps sending more patients than we expected. Jai-ho nodded. They seemed desperate to learn about our medicine. The door opened again, and Commander Hyun-woo Kang walked in. His uniform was neat, but his face looked tired. He was in charge of the small security team. Just 20 soldiers to protect over 100 medical staff. Dr. Kim, we need to talk, Hyun-woo said. His voice was low and serious. What's wrong, Commander? Jai-ho asked. Too many Vrek ships are moving near us, Hyun-woo said. Military ships, not medical ones. Earth Command says it's fine, but I don't like it. Jai-ho sighed. The Vrek explained that. They're protecting us from pirates. Hyun-woo's face stayed hard. 20 military ships to protect one hospital ship. That's not protection. That's something else. You worry too much, Jai-ho said with a small smile. We're saving their people. Yesterday, a Vrek mother brought her child who couldn't walk. Today, that child is running. We're making friends here. Hyun-woo didn't smile back. I hope you're right. Later that day, Su-min worked in the main treatment room. Vrek patients lay on special beds while human doctors and nurses moved around them. The healing nanites glowed blue as they fixed broken bodies. A young Vrek reached out one thin arm and touched Su-min's hand. Thank you, it said through its translator. My pain is gone for the first time in years. Su-min smiled. You're welcome. In 3 days, come back for a final check. On the bridge of the Mercy, Captain Sun-ho Park checked the ship's systems. Everything was normal. The Vrek ships stayed at what they called a respectful distance, but Sun-ho felt the same worry as Commander Kang. Why so many warships? He called Earth again. This is Hospital Ship Mercy. We have an unusual number of Vrek military vessels in our area, requesting guidance. After a long pause, Earth replied, Continue your mission, Mercy. The Vrek government has assured us these ships are for your protection only. That night, Jai-ho couldn't sleep. He walked through the quiet halls of the Mercy, checking on sleeping patients. In one room, he found Commander Kang standing by a window, looking out at the stars. Can't sleep either, Jai-ho asked. I was a soldier for 15 years before this, Hyun-woo said quietly. I've seen how enemies act before they attack. The Vrek ships are positioning themselves, not protecting us. But why would they attack? Jai-ho asked. We're helping them. Hyun-woo turned to look at Jai-ho. Sometimes people fear those who help them, because it means they're weaker. It means they need help. Jai-ho shook his head. The Vrek aren't people. They're aliens. We can't guess how they think. That's the problem, Hyun-woo said. We can't. Neither man noticed the small light on the communication panel had changed from green to red. The Mercy was now cut off from Earth, and in the darkness of space, the Vrek ships began to move closer. The first blast hit the Mercy without warning. The ship shook hard. Lights flickered and then went out. Red emergency lights came on as alarms screamed through the halls. In the treatment room, Dr. Jai-ho Kim grabbed a wall to stay standing. Around him, Vrek patients made high-pitched sounds of fear. Everyone stay calm, Jai-ho shouted. We're having a ship problem. You're safe here. His medical pad buzzed. It was Dr. Su-min Park. Jai-ho, the Vrek ships are firing on us. This is not an accident. Jai-ho couldn't believe it. That's impossible. There must be a mistake. Another blast hit the ship, this time harder. Jai-ho heard the terrible sound of air escaping somewhere distant. The Mercy's hull was breached. Commander Hyun-woo Kang's voice came over the emergency system. All medical staff, get your patients to the inner rooms. Security team to defense positions. This is not a drill. In the security center, Hyun-woo and his small team of 20 grabbed emergency weapons. They were only stun guns, not made for real battle. The Mercy was a hospital ship, not a warship. Sir, there are Vrek soldiers cutting through airlock 3. A young security officer said, her voice shaking. Hyunwoo's face turned hard. Block all doors to the patient areas. We hold them at the airlocks as long as possible. On the bridge, Captain Sunho tried again to call Earth. Emergency. Emergency. This is hospital ship Mercy. We are under attack by Vrek forces. Repeat. We are under attack. Only static answered him. Sunho turned to his bridge crew. Send the emergency signal on all channels. Someone must hear us. In treatment room B, Sumin worked quickly. A blast had injured 3 human nurses. Her hands moved fast, using basic tools to stop their bleeding. Dr. Park, said a nurse, what about the Vrek patients? Sumin looked at the alien patients watching her with their large compound eyes. We treat everyone. We're doctors. She moved to help a Vrek whose arm was broken in the attack. As she worked, the Vrek spoke. Why do you help me when my people attack you? Because that's what healers do, Sumin said simply. In the main hallway, Hyunwoo and his team faced the first wave of Vrek soldiers. The aliens moved fast, firing weapons that burned holes in the walls. Hold your position, Hyunwoo shouted as he fired his small stun gun. It barely slowed the Vrek down. A shot hit Hyunwoo in the chest. He fell back, badly hurt but still conscious. Fall back to the next door. Protect the medical staff. In his treatment room, Jae-ho heard the sounds of fighting getting closer. He made a quick decision. Start the emergency treatment protocol. All nanites to full healing mode. But doctor, a nurse said, we need to evacuate. We are healers, Jae-ho said firmly. We don't run. Get every patient stable first. In the communication room, Sumin fought to send one last message. She worked quickly as the sounds of Vrek soldiers came closer. This is Dr. Sumin Park of the hospital ship Mercy. She spoke into the emergency transmitter. We are under attack by Vrek forces. They came without warning. Our security team can't hold them back. If anyone receives this. The door burst open. 3 Vrek soldiers entered, weapons raised. Sumin hit the final button, sending the message into space. We came to heal, she said to the Vrek. The soldiers fired. On Earth, in the dark office of Fleet Command, a small light began to blink on a console. A broken message arrived from deep space. Admiral Ji Seok Choi, head of Earth Fleet Command and childhood friend of Dr. Kim, listened to the message with a face like stone. When it ended, he pressed a button on his desk. Get me the president. Now. His eyes were cold as space when he spoke again. And begin activation of the Guardian Angels program. The news hit Earth like a thunderstorm. Every screen showed the same images. The Mercy hospital ship, broken and burning. The final messages from the medical staff played again and again. Dr. Sumin Park's last transmission became the most watched video in history. In homes across Earth, people watched in shock, then in anger, then in rage. In the United Earth Council chamber, the Vrek ambassador stood before the angry leaders of Earth. This was an unfortunate misunderstanding, the Vrek ambassador said, its voice clicking through the translator. Some of our military ships thought your hospital ship was a threat. A threat, shouted a council member. It was clearly marked as a medical vessel. It had no weapons. The Vrek's antennae twitched nervously. We are deeply sorry for this error. We offer payment for your losses. In his office at Fleet Command, Admiral Ji Seok Choi watched this meeting on a screen. He didn't believe the Vrek for 1 second. Jae-ho had been his friend since they were children. Now Jae-ho was gone, killed while trying to heal others. A young officer entered the room. Sir, we intercepted Vrek communications from before the attack. She handed him a tablet. The admiral read it, and his face grew cold. Send this to the council immediately, he ordered. In the council chamber, the meeting stopped when the new information arrived. The head of the council read it aloud. High command orders. The human medical technology must not be allowed to spread. Their healing abilities are too advanced, and threaten our biological superiority. Destroy the hospital ship and all evidence of their nanite technology." The room went silent, then erupted in anger. The Vrek ambassador backed away. "This must be a mistake. I had no knowledge." "You are no longer welcome on Earth," the council leader said. "You have 1 hour to leave." After the Vrek left, the council turned to Admiral Choi, who had just arrived. "What is your recommendation, Admiral?" asked the council leader. Choi stood tall, his gray hair cut short, his uniform perfect. The Vrek attacked unarmed healers. They murdered people who came to help them. This cannot go unanswered. "Are you suggesting war, Admiral?" a council member asked. "No," Choi said. "Not war. Something more precise." He touched a screen, and an image appeared. It showed men and women in white uniforms with a single red stripe. Their faces were calm and determined. "This is the Guardian Angels program," Choi explained. "Elite soldiers with special training. They work with our medical corps but are trained for combat. They know how to protect our healers." "What makes them different from regular soldiers?" someone asked. "They use the same nanites that healed the Vrek," Choi said. "But these nanites are programmed differently. And every angel has studied alien biology extensively. They understand exactly how bodies work and how they fail." The room went quiet again. "What are you proposing, Admiral?" the council leader finally asked. "The surgical strike," Choi said. "Not against the Vrek people, but against those who ordered this attack. We target only military sites, no civilians. We show them that attacking our healers was their worst mistake." The council voted quickly. The decision was unanimous. As he left the chamber, Admiral Choi received a message on his personal device. It was from Colonel Min Ho-yoon, commander of the Guardian Angels First Response Team. "The angels are ready, sir. Just give the word." Choi thought of his friend Jai-ho, who only wanted to help others, who died still trying to heal even those who killed him. "The word is given," Choi typed back. "Operation Mercy begins now." Across Earth's orbital stations, white ships with small red crosses began to launch. They looked like medical vessels. They were not. Colonel Min Ho-yoon stood in the ready room of the ship Archangel. Around him, 30 men and women in white uniforms with red stripes checked their gear. They looked like medical staff, but these were the Guardian Angels, Earth's deadliest soldiers. Min Ho was tall and strong, with a face that rarely showed emotion. But today, his eyes burned with purpose. His sister had been a nurse on the Mercy. Her last message to him was still on his device. "The patients here are so grateful. I wish you could see their faces when they can walk again." 2 minutes until jump, said a voice over the speakers. Lieutenant Ju Yun-baek approached Min Ho. She was small but moved like a tiger. As the team's tactical specialist, she knew more ways to enter an enemy base than most people knew ways to tie their shoes. "The team is ready, sir," she said. "Everyone has taken their final nanite injection." Min Ho nodded. He rolled up his sleeve and looked at the small device on his arm. It glowed with a soft blue light. The same nanites that had once healed now prepared for a very different purpose. "Remember," Min Ho told his team, "we target only those responsible. No civilians. We are not murderers. We are surgeons removing a disease." Across the room, Dr. Yun Jae-han worked at a table covered with medical equipment. She looked like any other doctor, except for the military rank on her uniform. As the Angel's chief medical officer, she had spent the last week reprogramming the healing nanites. "Are the new variants ready, Doctor?" Min Ho asked. Yun Jae looked up. Her eyes were red from lack of sleep. "Yes. Each team member's nanites are programmed with Vrek biology data. They'll know exactly what to do." The ship shuddered as it entered hyperspace jump. The stars outside the window stretched into lines of light. Admiral Choi's face appeared on the main screen. "Colonel Yoon, you have your orders. The Vrek don't know we're coming. Their defense systems are looking for warships, not medical vessels." We won't fail, sir, Minho said. For the mercy. For the mercy, the admiral replied. And Minho, I'm sorry about your sister. After the admiral's image disappeared, Minho turned to his team. The Vrek thought our healing technology was a threat, he said. They were right, but not in the way they imagined. What heals can also harm, if used differently. He touched a control panel, and a 3D map of a Vrek military base appeared. This is the command center that ordered the attack on the Mercy, he explained. Our mission is to capture those responsible and shut down their defense systems. The Vrek will learn that attacking healers was their biggest mistake. Lieutenant Ju Yun pointed to several spots on the map. We'll enter here, here, and here. Team 1 disables communications. Team 2 captures the command staff. Team 3 secures their data systems. What about their guards? Someone asked. Dr. Yunji stepped forward. The nanites in your system can be released as a vapor. They won't kill, but they'll temporarily paralyze Vrek nervous systems. They'll be conscious but unable to move. Like being awake during surgery, Minho added. They'll see everything we do, but be unable to stop us. The ship shuddered again as it exited hyperspace. Through the window, they could see the Vrek homeworld, a blue-green planet circled by military stations. Approaching Vrek space, said the pilot. Their patrol ships are hailing us. Send the medical emergency code, Minho ordered. Tell them we're bringing aid for a new outbreak. As the Archangel moved toward the planet, 5 more ships just like it appeared from hyperspace. Minho looked out at the Vrek world. His sister had died trying to heal these aliens. He touched the small red cross on his uniform, the same symbol that had been on the Mercy. Now they'll learn what happens when you attack our healers, he said quietly. We don't send soldiers. We send angels. The Vrek military base was huge, a tall black building surrounded by defense towers. Inside, General Krastor, the Vrek commander who had ordered the attack on the Mercy, clicked his mandibles with satisfaction. His plan had worked perfectly. The humans' dangerous medical technology was gone. An alarm sounded. A junior officer rushed in. Sir, 6 human ships have entered our atmosphere. Destroy them, the general ordered. We can't, sir. They're sending medical emergency codes. Our leaders have granted them landing permission. They say they're bringing help for the bone disease outbreaks in the southern regions. General Krastor's compound eyes widened. It's a trick. Shut down the landing pads. But it was too late. The white ships with red crosses had already landed at different points around the planet. One touched down just outside the military base. They're medical ships, said another officer. They have no weapons our scanners can detect. The humans on the Mercy had no weapons either, the general said darkly. Double the guards. No humans entered this base. Outside the base, Colonel Minho Yoon and his team moved like shadows. Their white uniforms had changed color to match the dark landscape. Lieutenant Ju Yun led them to a small side entrance. Security system disabled, she whispered, holding up a small device. They still used the same codes the Mercy gave them for medical equipment. Their arrogance is our advantage. Minho nodded. Team 1, with me. Team 2, go with Lieutenant Bake. Remember, no lethal force unless absolutely necessary. We are better than they are. Inside the base, Vrek soldiers moved quickly, checking every corridor. None of them noticed the small white objects on the ceiling. Tiny medical drones the size of insects. Each drone released an invisible mist of nanites into the air system. One by one, Vrek soldiers began to freeze in place. Their bodies remained standing, but they couldn't move a muscle. Their eyes still worked. Their minds were still alert, but they were trapped in their own bodies. In the security center, a Vrek officer tried to sound an alarm as his legs stopped working. We're under at. His voice died as his mouth froze open. Colonel Minho and his team moved through hallways filled with paralyzed Vrek soldiers. They wore small masks that filtered the air. Dr. Han's nanites work perfectly, Minho said. They'll stay conscious but immobile for 6 hours. When they reached the command center, they found General Krastor trying to crawl to an emergency button as the nanite slowly took effect on his body. Minho stood over him. General Krastor, you ordered the attack on our hospital ship. The ship my sister died on. The general's mandibles clicked weakly. Humans. Too dangerous. Your healing technology. Yes, Minho said. We can heal almost anything. That means we know exactly how bodies work, how they break, how they can be controlled. Lieutenant Ju Yun was already at the main computer. I'm in their system, Colonel, downloading all files on the Mercy attack. She pressed another button, and now connecting to their planet-wide communication system. Minho picked up the Vrek equivalent of a microphone. His voice would be heard across the entire Vrek world. People of Vrek, this is Colonel Minho Yun of Earth. Your military leaders attacked our hospital ship without warning. They murdered our healers while they were saving Vrek lives. He looked directly at General Krastor as he continued. We could have responded with full war. Instead, we came with precision. No Vrek civilian will be harmed by us, but those responsible will face justice. Minho's voice grew colder. You attacked our healers. Now you face their protectors. We are the guardian angels, and we have only just begun. Across the Vrek world, civilians looked up at screens in fear as they saw their mighty military base taken by just 30 humans, without a single shot fired. And this was only the first strike. Supreme Commander Vexlar of the Vrek fleet slammed his upper arms down on the table. 20 Vrek military leaders flinched at his anger. How did 30 humans take our largest military base? He demanded. His voice was like stones grinding together. Where were our defenses? A nervous officer stepped forward. Sir, they used our medical codes to enter our systems, and they had some kind of biological weapon. It paralyzed our soldiers instantly. Not a weapon, said another officer. The humans who escaped say it was nanites, like the healing ones, but changed. Vexlar's compound eyes gleamed with anger. Launch all ships. Full attack formation. We will crush these humans before they strike again. In orbit around the Vrek homeworld, 500 warships moved into position, their weapons powered up, ready to destroy the 6 small white human vessels. Aboard the Archangel, Colonel Minho watched the Vrek fleet on the main screen. His face showed no fear. They're doing exactly what we expected, he said to Lieutenant Juan, responding with brute force. Dr. Yen Jai-Han joined them, carrying a tablet. The nanite cloud has been released into their fleet communication network, she reported. Phase 2 can begin. Minho nodded. Signal the other ships. Operation Ghost begins now. On the Vrek command ship, Supreme Commander Vexlar watched in confusion as the human vessels simply disappeared from their sensors. Where did they go? He demanded. Find them. Sir, our sensors are working perfectly, a technician said. The human ships were there one moment, gone the next. Impossible, Vexlar shouted. No ship can just vanish. Then, one by one, Vrek ships began to report system failures. Not weapons or engines, something stranger. Sir, our life support is changing temperature on its own. Our doors are opening and closing without commands. Our communication system is playing human music. Vexlar couldn't believe what he was hearing. How is this happening? What the Vrek didn't know was that Dr. Yunji's special nanites had infected their fleet systems. These weren't designed to attack bodies. They attacked machines. And Lieutenant Ju Yun had programmed them with her expert knowledge of Vrek technology. The human ships hadn't disappeared. They had simply told the Vrek sensors not to see them. On the bridge of a Vrek destroyer, a captain watched in horror as his ship's weapons powered down on their own. What's happening? He demanded. A voice came through the speakers, a human female voice. This is Lieutenant Ju Yun Baek of Earth's Guardian Angels. Your weapons are now under our control. Your engines will follow in 30 seconds. You attacked doctors. You killed healers. Now you face us." Across the Vrek fleet, ships lost control of their systems one by one. None fired a single shot. Some began to turn in circles. Others found themselves moving away from the battle. A few simply shut down completely. In his flagship, Vexlar received reports of chaos throughout his fleet. "How can they do this?" he raged. "They're just humans." An officer, braver than the others, spoke up. "Sir, they understand how bodies work, down to the smallest cell. Is it so surprising they can do the same with our machines?" Before Vexlar could answer, a human face appeared on his main screen. It was Dr. Yunjihan. "Supreme Commander," she said calmly, "your fleet is disabled. No one is hurt, yet. The nanites controlling your ships are modified versions of our healing technology. The same technology your people feared so much that you murdered our medical teams." She leaned closer to the screen. "We could have destroyed your entire fleet. Instead, we simply disable it. Remember that. This is not what we do at full strength." The screen changed to show all 6 human ships, now visible again, moving peacefully through the helpless Vrek fleet. "Your mistake wasn't attacking us," Dr. Yunji's voice continued. "Your mistake was attacking our healers." Admiral Ji Seok Choi stood before the giant screen in Earth Fleet Command. It showed the Vrek ships floating helplessly in space. His face remained calm, but inside, a storm of emotions raged. For his friend Jeho, for all the medical staff of the Mercy, this was justice, but not yet complete. "Open a channel to the Vrek High Council," he ordered. The screen changed to show 5 Vrek leaders sitting at a curved table. They looked nervous, their antennae twitching rapidly. "This is Admiral Ji Seok Choi of Earth," he began. His voice was cold but controlled. "Your military attacked our hospital ship. They murdered our healers. Now you see what happens when you mistake kindness for weakness." The lead counselor's voice trembled slightly. "Admiral, we are prepared to offer compensation for this terrible mistake." "This was no mistake," Choi said firmly. "We have your military's orders. They attacked because they feared our medical technology, because we could heal what they could not." He leaned forward. "Here is our demand. Surrender everyone responsible for ordering the attack on the Mercy, from the generals to the ship captains who fired on unarmed doctors. You have 24 hours. And if we refuse?" asked another counselor. Choi's eyes narrowed. "Then the guardian angels will continue their work. So far, they have been gentle. That can change." After ending the transmission, Choi contacted Colonel Minho. "They have 24 hours, Colonel, but I doubt they'll surrender everyone." "We're ready for that, sir," Minho replied. "I already have a team inside their capital city." In the sprawling Vrek capital, Lieutenant Ju Yun led a small team through dark streets. They moved like ghosts, their white uniforms now changed to match the night. No Vrek saw them pass. "The military headquarters is just ahead," she whispered. "Our intelligence says the remaining leaders responsible for the Mercy attack are hiding there." Inside the building, General Zivkor, who had helped plan the attack on the Mercy, paced nervously. "The council will surrender us to save themselves," he told the other officers. "We must escape tonight." "To where?" asked another general. "These humans, they can take control of our ships, our security systems. How do we fight an enemy like that?" Before anyone could answer, the lights went out. When they came back on seconds later, 30 humans in white uniforms with red stripes stood in the room. Colonel Minho stepped forward. "Gentlemen, you're coming with us." One Vrek officer reached for a weapon. Faster than anyone could see, Dr. Yunji flicked her wrist. A small medical dart hit the officer. He froze in place instantly. "That's a concentrated dose of the nanites," she explained calmly. "He'll remain conscious but completely paralyzed for 12 hours. Would anyone else like a demonstration?" No one moved. 3 hours later, the Vrek High Council received a message. Come to Military Hospital 3. When they arrived, they found all the Vrek military leaders who had ordered the Mercy attack sitting in the waiting room, guarded by guardian angels. But something else shocked them even more. In the treatment rooms, human doctors were helping Vrek civilians. Colonel Minho approached the stunned council members. These doctors volunteered to come here after what happened to the Mercy. They say it's what Dr. Kim would have wanted. He pointed to the captured military leaders. These officers will stand trial for murder. But we wanted you to see this first, that even after what your people did, our healers still want to help. Why show us this? Asked the lead counselor. Minho's face was stern. So you understand exactly what your military tried to destroy. Not an enemy, not a threat, but people who would save lives, even the lives of those who killed their friends. He handed the counselor a tablet. This is our ultimatum. Not just the surrender of these criminals, but a new relationship between our worlds. One based on respect, not fear. Sign it, or we leave. And take our medicine with us. The lead counselor looked at the human doctors helping his people, then at the angels standing guard. Healers and warriors. Different sides of the same coin. He began to understand humanity's true strength. 1 month after the Guardian Angels mission, the Vrek capital city looked very different. Human and Vrek flags flew side by side over the new medical center built where the military headquarters once stood. Inside, human doctors worked alongside Vrek medical students. In the main office, Admiral Ji Seok Choi met with the Vrek High Council. The peace treaty was open on the table before them. The last of the war criminals have been sentenced, said the head counselor. We thank Earth for allowing us to handle the trials ourselves. Choi nodded. Justice has been served. Now we look to the future. Under the treaty, Earth would establish permanent medical centers on the Vrek homeworld. In return, the Vrek would share their knowledge of space travel and other alien cultures. A small force of guardian angels would remain as observers. Your people have taught us a valuable lesson, the counselor said. True strength lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the choice to heal instead. Across the city, Colonel Minho Yoon walked through a small garden. Beside him was Dr. Yin Jae-han. They had both changed in the past month. The cold anger in Minho's eyes had softened. Yunji's exhaustion had given way to a quiet pride in her work. The new nanite treatments are working better than we hoped, she told him. The bone disease will be gone from the Vrek population within a year. Minho nodded. Jaiho would be proud. He stopped walking and looked at her. I'm resigning from the Angels program. Yunjai looked surprised. Why? I joined to protect healers, he said simply. Now I want to learn how to be one. I've applied to medical school. Yunji smiled. Your sister would be proud too. At the edge of the garden stood a new memorial, a statue showing the human doctor helping a Vrek patient stand. The names of everyone lost on the Mercy were carved in both human and Vrek writing. Fresh flowers lay at its base every day, placed there by Vrek civilians. Lieutenant Ju Yun approached Minho and Yunji. The last angel team is leaving tomorrow, she reported, except for the 20 staying as observers. And you? Minho asked. Ju Yun smiled. I'm staying. The Vrek have asked me to help redesign their security systems. They finally understand that the best defense isn't secrecy, it's cooperation. As they talked, a young Vrek approached them cautiously. He was smaller than most Vrek, his shell still the light blue of youth. Excuse me, he said through a translator. Are you Colonel Yoon? Minho nodded. I am. The young Vrek's antennae trembled slightly. My name is Tikva. I was a patient on the hospital ship Mercy before the attack. Dr. Kim saved my life. Minho went very still. You knew Jiho. Tikva nodded. He fixed my spine when no one else could. I was in the emergency shuttle with some other patients when the attack happened. Dr. Kim made sure we got out before. His voice trailed off. Then he straightened his thin body. "I just started training as a medical student. I want to be like him, like Dr. Kim." Minho was quiet for a long moment. Then he placed a hand gently on the young Vrek's shoulder. "He would be honored. And so am I." Later that evening, Admiral Choi stood at the memorial alone. He traced his friend's name with his finger. "We did it, Jai-ho," he said softly. "We showed them what happens when they attack our healers. But we also showed them why our healers matter so much." In orbit above the planet, the Guardian Angel ships prepared to return to Earth. They had come as warriors but had helped bring peace. Their white hulls with red crosses gleamed in the starlight, a reminder of their dual nature. Across the galaxy, word spread quickly about what happened when the Vrek attacked human healers. The message was clear. Humans would always respond to violence against the innocent. But their greatest power wasn't their ability to fight. It was their choice to heal, even after being wounded themselves.